It's Dean Chronicles. Ready for laughs and cheers? Oh, wait, he is alone now. Dean's a geezer, that's all. Find out more on the Dean Chronicles. Tune in, don't delay. Dean will try and make your day. Oh, poor Dean. R.I.P. Martin. Chapter 17. 1 a Dean? 2 a Dean? 3 a Dean? Oh, hello everyone. In this chapter, I need to give you all some pre-warning bullshit about violence, sexual stuff, and chaos that's going to happen. I mean, if you listen this far, I think you're all set for it anyway. Fucking snowflakes, back to the tale. Outside an abandoned dance hall in Wooton, the sky bleeds a miserable orange like a dirty forgotten stain on an old carpet. Luke sits on a broken concrete step, head buried in his hands, his cheeks crusted with dried tears and snot. A few crushed cans clatter around him, echoing his shattered spirit. His leather jacket lies beside him, discarded and defeated. Luke is sniffling, his voice broken.
Stupid. Why do you always have to be such a fucking idiot, Luke? Should have kept your mouth shut. Should have just been normal. Should have never bought that goddamn fox costume.
A figure shimmers into view under the piss-yellow light of a battered street lamp. Dean, but not the Dean Luke knows. This Dean is a fever dream. A nightmare in tight silver trousers, a pink feather boa, and a studded leather jacket that glints like a disco ball. His sunglasses are so big they could double as satellite dishes. Luke looks up, eyes wide with disbelief.
Dean, what the fuck are you wearing?
Dean strikes a pose, his voice dripping with sarcasm.
What does it look like, you dumb fuck? I'm fucking fabulous.
Dean spins, the boa whipping around like a deadly serpent. Luke stammers, wiping his nose on his sleeve, desperate for forgiveness.
I hope we're okay. I didn't mean to, make you mad or put on that fucking costume.
Oh, we're fine, sunshine. Just fucking peachy. Why don't we take this somewhere quieter, huh?
Luke nods eagerly, following Dean into the ruins of the dance hall. The air is thick with dust and the stench of mould and dead rats. Dean kicks aside a half-burnt armchair and locks the door with a final, ominous clunk. Dean's voice changes with a dangerous growl.
You wanted me, didn't you, you pathetic little shit?
Yeah, but not like this. Not when you're all sparkly and angry.
Dean lunges, grabbing Luke by the collar and slamming him onto a rotting couch. He climbs on top, his grin savage. He forcefully spreads Luke's legs, hiking up his jeans and tearing his underwear, exposing him completely. Luke tries to squirm away, but Dean's grip is like a vice, his fingers digging into Luke's hips, holding him in place. Dean spits on his hand, rubbing it on his own cock before positioning himself at Luke's entrance. He pushes in slowly at first, a cruel smile on his face as he feels Luke tense and try to pull away.
Relax, you little bitch.
He sneers before slamming into him fully, causing Luke to cry out in pain. Luke is sobbing, trying to wriggle free.
I didn't mean it. I didn't know the theme tune would upset you. It was meant to be cute, Dean. The fox thing. I fucked up.
Dean mocks, starting to move his hips in a brutal rhythm.
You want to be a fox, Luke? Let's hear you scream like one, you little furry fuck. Beg for it. You know you want it.
Dean's movements are harsh and unyielding, each thrust driving Luke further into the rotting couch, his body aching with each impact. He can feel every inch of Dean, the tight trousers doing nothing to hide the harsh reality of what's happening. Luke's cries turn into desperate, choking sobs, his body betraying him as it responds to the brutal intrusion. Dean leans down, his breath hot on Luke's ear as he whispers cruel words, his voice a mocking sing-song.
That's it. Take it like a little bitch. You love this, don't you? Admit it.
Luke crying and desperate.
Please, I'll never wear costumes again. I'll smash the speaker. I'll burn the fox outfit. It wasn't ready, Dean. I wasn't ready.
Neither was I, sunshine. Neither was fucking I.
With a final brutal thrust, Dean finishes, his breath ragged as he leans in, his voice a cruel whisper in Luke's ear.
That's what you get, you little bitch. Now it's time to finish this.
Dean wraps his hands around Luke's throat, squeezing with a grin that never fades. Luke kicks and flails, his shoes scrambling against the filthy floor, his face turning purple, spit bubbling out of his mouth and his legs jerking like a dying fish. Dean just stares down, his grin widening, sunglasses still on, blocking out the world. Luke gurgling and with a final desperate wheeze.
I'll buy you a new boa, but pink one. Please.
Dean leans in, whispering in his ear.
Don't bother, woofter. I'm about to get a brand new foxskin rug.
With one final brutal squeeze, Luke's body jerks, lets out a sad little huff of air, and goes limp. His last breath smells like cider and regret. Dean lets him flop back on the couch, wipes his glittery hands off on Luke's jacket and strides away, straightening his boa with a flourish.
Fucking woofters. Always chasing what they can't fucking handle. Behind him, the tiny broken speaker buzzes once, weakly plays yip yip, and cuts out for good, leaving only the echo of Dean's cruel laughter and Luke's final pathetic gasps.
Later on that evening, at the co-op, the fluorescent lights flicker and buzz like they're on life support. A few tired customers shuffle about, grabbing cheap wine and sad-looking ready meals. Behind the till, Harry, the village's resident mumbling idiot, fiddles with a mountain of battered membership cards, muttering like he's casting a curse. Harry is muttering to himself.
Number 47. No, 74. Bloody goblins. Need forms. Forms for the goblins.
Dean storms in like a pissed-off hurricane. He is wearing a tank top and jeans, his basket in one hand loaded with whiskey, bacon and a pack of tiger bread. He looks seconds away from murder.
All I wanted was some fucking bacon, tiger bread and whiskey. Instead, I get this fucking idiot playing with cards.
Dean waits behind a pensioner buying a multi-pack of Kit Kats. Harry's still mumbling, now mixing membership cards with a stack of receipts.
Spiders? No, numbers. No, spiders with numbers.
Dean's patience snaps.
For fuck's sake, Harry, you cunt.
He slams his basket down with a crash, storms around the counter, grabs Harry by his crusty polo shirt and punches him straight in the face. There's a wet, meaty thwack as Harry's nose explodes. Blood splatters across the counter, the cards, and a 2 for £3 sign. Dean doesn't stop there. He grabs Harry by the throat, his fingers digging in like a vice, and slams Harry's head against the counter repeatedly. Harry's skull cracks open like a melon, brain matter and blood spilling out, creating a grotesque mess.
But please, Dean, stop. Shut up, you fucking idiot.
Lynn, who was restocking the fridge with meal deals, turns around, sees the carnage, and lets out a blood-curdling scream.
Oh my God, he's killed Harry!
Mark, the uptight manager with his sad little tie, comes charging over, dodging past a woman who drops her basket and flees. Mark begins to tut. He is away tutting, annoyed.
Brilliant. Dead on a Friday. I'll never get cover for this shift now.
Mark steps around Harry's twitching body, grimacing at the blood puddling across the freshly mopped floor. Mark moaning and tutting more.
And I just mopped this. Unbelievable.
Ignoring Dean's death glare, Mark whips out his phone and starts to dial 999.
You put that phone to your ear and I'll staple it to your bollocks, you tutting prick.
Mark just scoffs at this.
You wouldn't dare. Try me.
Mark looks at his phone again, about to dial, when Dean spots a stock cage full of bread rolls, grabs it, and with terrifying strength, folds it into a jagged metal spear. He charges at Mark, ramming the twisted pole clean through Mark's arse and out of his mouth. Mark gargles a high-pitched squeal, his eyes wide with shock and pain.
Help me, please.
Dean lifts him up, impaling him on the spear like a grotesque shish kebab. Mark's body jerks and twitches, blood pouring from his mouth and arse, before he finally drops dead, his body sliding off the spear with a wet thud.
There you go, all done.
The shop descends into chaos. Shoppers scream and bolt for the exit. Alarms start shrieking. Lynn presses herself flat against the fridge, sobbing, her eyes wide with terror and a hint of dark excitement. She's seen what Dean can do, and it's both scared and aroused her. Dean, breathing hard, looks around at the carnage. He snorts, then casually leans over the blood-slick counter, grabs a bottle of Smirnoff vodka from behind the till, rips the cap off with his teeth, and starts guzzling it like water. He drains half the bottle in one go, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand, and glares around the empty shop.
Anyone else want a piece of me? Come on.
His bloodshot eyes land on Lynn, who's frozen stiff by the meal deals. Dean then pointing the bottle at her and growls.
You're next if you're not careful, you little tease.
But please, Dean, don't hurt me.
Oh, I won't hurt you, Lynn, unless you want me to.
Lynn whispers to herself.
I should have stayed in the south of France.
Dean guzzles the last of the vodka, smirks at Lynn, and delivers a signature one-liner.
Remember, Lynn, I'm a fucking hurricane, and you're just a little tent in my path. So hold on to your knickers, sweetheart.
He tosses the empty bottle into the air, catches it, and then uses it to point at her as he backs away, blowing her a kiss before exiting with a swagger. Outside the co-op there is Dean. Wait! He was just inside the shop. Oh. This one, still dressed in a tight silver outfit and a pink feather boa, is spinning and shouting.
I love this madness, sweetie. It's so fun.
The Butch Dean, dressed in tank and denim jeans, walks out of the co-op, a smug smile on his face.
Madness, chaos, and destruction. It's a blast.
Wait, there is two Deans. Meanwhile, in his flat, Dean sits at the table with a large brown envelope torn open beside him. Inside, a neat stack of crisp, fresh cash. The kind that smells like it's never been touched by human hands. Dean licks his thumb and starts counting.
1, 2, 3 grand, 4, 5. Hold on.
He pauses, squints at a few notes. They're euros. Taped to them is a small yellow sticky note in shaky handwriting.
Sorry, ran out of UK cash. Sincerely, Dr. P.
Oh, piss off, Doc P. What am I meant to do with Monopoly money? Buy a baguette and a scooter?
Still, he shrugs, shuffles the euros into the pile, and carries on counting.
5 grand, give or take a dodgy exchange rate. Not bad for sitting in a chair getting lasered in the face.
He leans back smugly, envelope on the table, cash stacked in front of him like a low-budget Bond villain. Then, bang, 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 the front door rattles like it's about to come off the hinges.
If that's another fucking canvasser with a clipboard, I swear to God, I'll shove it up their arse and tell them to vote for that.
He opens the door. Baz barrels in red-faced.
Dean, Burvey, you're on the fucking news. For what now? I only stole a burger the other night, then got a big payday. There's 2 of you. One's built like a fridge, the other looks like Elton John's fever dream. What the hell did you do? Me? I didn't do nothing. All I did was let some lab coat weirdos buzz lights round my head, paid me 5 grand just to sit in a chair. You let mad scientists shine shit in your eyes? Yeah, mate, thought it was a sleep study. They said, don't worry, we're just mapping your neural response. Whatever that means. Gave me a biscuit and everything. And now there's 2 lunatics that look just like you running round Wooten.
Knock, knock, then a loud wheel squeak.
Come in, Pinston. Let's round out this intervention, shall we?
Pinston rolls in wearing aviators and a camo poncho, holding a bag of warm lager. I brought beer and emotional support. What's this about clones?
Not confirmed clones, but maybe clones or time ghosts or Dino's secret drag act.
Dean, ignoring them, grabs a sausage roll.
All I know is they strapped this whirly helmet on me, zapped a few lights, did some humming noises like they were in Star Trek, and said, that's enough. Results are promising. Then I got paid.
Did they take your blood?
Yeah. Spit? Yep. Did they shove anything up your arse?
Dean pauses to think.
Well, not officially.
Baz pulls out his phone and shows Dean the video. On screen, Butch Dean charges like a bull and rams the twisted pole clean through Mark's arsehole and out of his mouth. Then Fabulous Dean is spining outside the co-op's door. Dean's mouth full of sausage roll.
Jesus Christ, they copied me twice. One for Jim Bros, one for Grinder. Why would they do that? Don't know, do I? Maybe I've got premium DNA. Maybe they're building the ultimate man and couldn't decide between bar fight and Broadway.
Pinston chugging his lager.
Or maybe they fucked up the cloning, like split your brain into 2 personalities. One got the muscles, the other got the jazz hands.
Dean nodding slowly.
Science is bollocks. What are we gonna do? We're going out, gonna find them, see what they want. Maybe figure out which one's the real me.
Isn't you the real you?
Don't know anymore, mate. Let's go find out before someone ends up in bits in the fruit aisle.
They head for the door, confused, underprepared and heavily sarcastic. Several hours earlier, a hidden underground lab beneath Wooten. Cold white lights, rows of tech buzz quietly, but tension hangs like smoke. In the center, a vat of green, bubbling ooze glowing ominously. Beside it, a cooler labeled Dean sample, warning temporal contamination. The lab is in chaos. Scientists dart around like caffeinated meerkats, red warning lights flashing like a dodgy nightclub. A monitor shows DNA helixes doing the Macarena, occasionally glitching into the shape of a middle finger. One of the scientists is gawping at the screen.
We followed the sequence exactly. Dean's DNA. But it's gone mental.
The second scientist is slapping a console in a panic.
He's been marinated in centuries of time travel bollocks. The man's genome is like a VHS tape that's been recorded over by Doctor Who, porn, and World War II newsreels.
This isn't DNA. It's a haunted mixtape of bad decisions and radiation.
Now, a third scientist is pointing at a graph now. It's shaped like a middle finger.
The helix just insulted me.
We tried to clone a man, and ended up cloning everything he's ever done while drunk and angry.
They all look at the vat, which hisses. From inside, 2 forms rise, steaming, grotesque at first, then reshaping rapidly like boiling wax, settling into a form. One version of Dean bursts forth first, hulking, furious, skin rippling as if holding in raw energy. His breath fogs the glass. He snarls.
Too loud, too bright, kill noise.
We shall call him Butch Dean. The second form slinks out more gracefully. This version of Dean is smooth, muscled but sleek, shimmering slightly like he's just stepped out of a gay dream and is ready to ruin lives.
Yoo-hoo, scientists. Guess who's back and beautiful?
This one will be called Fabulous Dean.
They're unstable. The time-displaced radiation fractured the personalities. It split him into primal aggression and flamboyant chaos.
Flamboyant chaos? Oh, honey, you do know how to compliment a girl.
Suddenly, Butch Dean smashes through the tank wall with a growl, grabbing a scientist and ramming his skull into a terminal. Sparks fly, blood sprays.
No more tests.
He lifts the body like a dumbbell and hurls it across the room. Bones crack on impact.
Lacking vocabulary at the moment, but ooh, I like him so. Hands on.
Fabulous Dean then struts toward another scientist who's frozen with fear.
You nervous? Or let me relieve some of that tension.
He leaps into a spin and lands crotch first on the man, pinning him down like a predator with glitter and stilettos made of bone. The man's screams dissolve into gurgles as Fabulous Dean humps him to death, spine snapping under the pressure.
I call that move the bum in Nator, trademark pending.
The remaining scientists scatter. One presses a lockdown button. The doors begin to seal, but Butch Dean charges, grabs a man by the head and rips it clean off. Blood arcs across the lab wall like a mural. Too slow, too soft. As the last scientist tries to hide beneath a console, Butch drags him out by the ankle and snaps both arms off like breadsticks. The screams echo, then die. Once the lab is silent, filled with dripping blood, twitching limbs and a faint glitter haze, the two Deans stand side by side.
So, darling, what now?
Butch Dean cracking his knuckles.
Find the real one, kill him and everyone. Well, you are a jolly one, you big brute.
They saunter off together, leaving behind a scene of fabulous slaughter and muscle-bound mayhem. Back in current time. It got dark too fast. Wooten is on fire, literally. Smoke coils through the sky like God's ashtray. Streetlights flicker like dying stars. Sirens wail in the distance like they're giving up. The bystanders' windows are shattered, its pub sign hanging by one bent screw, swinging like a hanged man. Dean, Baz and Pinston crouch behind an abandoned hot dog cart that smells like piss and mustard. Dean grips a crowbar like it owes him money. Baz has a cricket bat covered in rusty nails. Pinston, vibrating with terror, holds a broken traffic cone like a medieval lance. It's still got dried vomit on it.
There they are, the clone pricks.
Across the street, Fabulous Dean struts on top of a taxi, smothered in glitter, humming Vogue and blowing kisses at a burning pensioner bus. Beside him, Butch Dean is shirtless, head-butting a lamppost repeatedly, veins bulging like hydraulic cables. So, the plan is I scream and distract them, yeah?
Mate, you're in a fucking wheelchair. The last time you distracted someone, it was a duck that thought you were a loaf of Warburtons. Focus, we strike hard, strike fast. Baz, you take the sparkly poof me. I'll fight the steroid mountain me. Pinston, try not to become soup.
They charge. Well, Dean and Baz do. Pinston's wheelchair lurches forward like a trolley with a death wish. He lifts the cone like Excalibur. Butch Dean turns, snorts, and bellows like a demon with hemorrhoids.
Squish!
He charges. Pinston jabs the cone. It bounces off Butch's chest with a sad honk. Butch grabs the wheelchair, lifts it overhead like a pizza tray, spins Pinston like a discus and launches him into a red postbox. Crack, bones snap, sparks fly. Pinston folds like flat-pack furniture.
Jesus Christ, he turned him into fucking lasagna. He's meat origami, he's human roadkill. That's Pinston-flavored jam. Ooh, hope someone brought a mop. We've got chunky puddles.
Baz screams, leaps across the street like a rabid chimp, and tackles Fabulous Dean through the shattered front window of a charity shop. This isn't a fight, it's war crime theatre. The charity shop explodes into chaos. Mannequins become missiles. A dusty CD player starts blaring Cruel Summer by Bananarama like it's possessed. Baz and Fabulous Dean are locked in a glitter-drenched death match. They crash through racks of gravy-stained aprons and postmenopausal fashion disasters. Fabulous Dean ducking behind a coat rack.
Ooh, come on then, discount Thor. Let's tango, darling.
Baz swinging a golf club.
I'm going to turn you into confetti, you sequined poof.
Fabulous Dean pirouettes out, hurls a fluorescent crock, smack, straight to Baz's bollocks.
Oh, me testicle duets.
Fabulous. Dean grabs a world's best Nan mug and smashes it on Baz's back. Ceramic shrapnel rains like weaponized dementia.
Nanny sends her love.
Baz rolls away, topples a trolley full of erotic jigsaw puzzles, and tackles Fab Dean into a shelf of lightly loved romance novels. Dust and lust fill the air.
You sparkle-titted sex shop mannequin, I'm gonna snap your spine like a glow stick.
He bites Fab Dean's ear, tears out a glittery chunk, and stabs him with a sharpened knitting needle. Fab Dean grabs a mannequin leg and jousts. Baz counters with a ceramic owl. Smash!
Rude, Gerald had IBS.
They crash into a display of porcelain cats. Feathers, screams, the CD skips into hell. Fab Dean emerges with a sequined stiletto.
Say hello to my little friend.
Baz grabbing a stapler.
Say hello to stationary tosser.
They charge. Baz ducks the stiletto, knees Fab Dean in the crotch, and staples his ear to a shelf.
I was a style icon, you mongrel.
Baz strangles him with a furry dice keyring. Then, one final swing. Baz grabs a high heel, slams it into Fab Dean's neck. Blood, glitter, confetti, a party popper for Satan.
Not the Louboutins.
He slumps into a pile of feather boas and DVDs of Raiders of the Lost Arse. Baz, bleeding and dazed, wipes his face with a pink shawl.
Glitter down. Now where's the protein demon?
Dean is getting obliterated by Butch Dean in a heavyweight match so violent it makes war documentaries look like Bake Off. They crash through cars, benches, phone booths. A cat explodes out of a wheelie bin. Dean swings a crowbar. Butch catches it, headbutts him into a traffic light, then powerbombs him through a bin lorry. Dean spits blood, sandwich wrappers, and a tooth. Baz appears, face like hamburger, bat soaked in Fab Dean's innards.
Killed the gay one. Nice, let's kill this bollock with biceps.
Baz roars and leaps on Butch's back, choking him with the bat like a rabid sloth with a grudge. Dean stumbles up, cracks Butch's kneecap with a crowbar. Butch Dean drops, roars, staggers.
Baz is back, bitches.
And then, crack! Butch grabs Baz, snaps his spine over one knee like a breadstick. Baz drops, limp, eyes fluttering. Baz! No! Baz! He crawls to him. Baz's lips move, just blood. Then, nothing. Dean stares. No tears, just the rage of 1,000 suns. He picks up Baz's bat and his own crowbar.
Right, fucking enough of this. I'm ending you, you mutated bollock.
He charges, doesn't work. Butch Dean catches the bat, slams Dean's face into a car hood, throws him into a dumpster. The metal dents like paper. Dean groans, crawls, swings the crowbar. Miss! Butch knees him. Crack. Ribs scream. Dean vomits blood and regret. One final hammer fist to the spine. Dean crumples, broken. But he moves, slowly, pushes himself up, shaking, split lips, broken ribs, rage in his eyes, still breathing, still fucking alive. Dean is barely on his feet, blooded, swaying, held upright by nothing but spite and bad decisions. Across from him, Butch Dean, a beast in human form, strides forward like the fucking Terminator. Shirtless, flexing, cracked knuckles dripping with Dean's blood.
You're finished, you scrawny little has-been.
Dean coughs up blood. He smirks through the crimson.
You know who you remind me of?
Butch Dean pauses, raising an eyebrow.
Fucking Conquest, from Invincible.
That hits something. Butch Dean laughs, a booming, bone-rattling cackle.
Yeah, my conquest has only just started.
He grabs Dean by the throat, lifting him like a child's toy.
Any last words before I repaint the pavement with your face?
Dean gasps.
You're still a shit version of me.
Butch Dean pulls back his fist, ready to crush Dean's skull. Woomph! Suddenly, the air ruptures with a blinding white flash. A tall figure appears at the edge of the street, silhouetted in the fire and light, long trench coat swirling, boots smouldering on impact. The figure steps forward, sleek and menacing, like death in a duster. No words, just movement. From beneath the coat, they draw a plasma weapon, a jagged, brutal thing that hums with rage. Zoom! A bolt of burning energy tears through the air. Blam! And blasts a gaping hole in Butch Dean's face. Blood and bits fly. His head snaps back and detonates like a piñata full of skull. His body collapses. Dean crashes to the ground, gasping, vision fading. The figure holsters the weapon and strides over, trenchcoat flapping. Dean squints, barely conscious, voice weak.
Knew someone in a coat had saved me, stylish bastard.
And then, blackout. The trench-coated figure kneels, lifts Dean's limp body effortlessly, turns toward the smoke and fire, and vanishes into the night with another flicker of light. Join us to continue the adventures by hitting subscribe. If you enjoyed our exploration, give us a like and share your thoughts in the comments below.